We are headed for a slight cool down. Your weekend forecast is coming up in just a few minutes. We've got this area of low pressure that is moving across the Pacific Northwest right now. Over the next 24 hours, it is going to move south very quickly, settling into our region by tomorrow evening. In total, this took about 30 people 3.5 hours to get this tree to the top of Camelback Mountain. Here at Wet and Wild, there's thousands of gallons of water to keep you cool. At up to 70 pounds, these turnouts are built to keep the heat out. But as a result, their bodies aren't able to cool down. Tomorrow morning, we are back to school and back to work, and it's going to be a chilly morning for those kids at the bus stop. 7 a.m. we'll be sitting at 57 degrees. By mid-February, folks up here in Flagstaff typically see about 5 feet of snow. So far this year, they haven't even received a foot. But we're adding to that total as we speak. Take a look at this. If you're in the market to buy a new home, it may be better to make that move sooner rather than later. And that is because the experts are predicting the cost of building a brand new home, just like this one, are about to go way up. A live look out from our Phoenix Tower cam. We are currently sitting at 70 degrees. The humidity limit is 32%. We have a little bit of a weather maker headed our way, and we'll get there in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at those temperatures across the state. We are sitting at 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our temps across the state at the moment, we've got 61 in Show Low, 76 down in Tucson, 59 up at the Grand Canyon, and 82 for those of you in Lake Havasu. Taking a look at our temps across the country, perhaps you have some travel plans with the upcoming holiday. Chicago, you are sitting at 34 degrees. We've got 54 in New York, 40 in Portland, and 44 in Denver. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, we've got a little bit of a low pressure system right now passing over Chicago, Toronto, and is going to be moving into the northeast part of our country in the coming days. We've also got a little bit of a weather maker up here in the Pacific Northwest. These are some regions that you're going to want to keep your eye on because there could be flight delays associated with these weather systems. Back here at home, it's going to be a warm one for us. We are looking to break a record. We've got 89 as our high. That is going to break the record of 87 set back in 1950. That record exists for both Thanksgiving as well as November 23rd. As we head into the rest of the week, Friday morning, perhaps you're trying to get on some of those Black Friday deals. You're going to want to pack a jacket with you. We're starting off the morning at 58 degrees. As we head into the rest of the week, we're really looking to hold on to these temperatures well above average, mid to upper 80s with our overnight lows in the upper 50s. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Emily Blume. Take a look at these skid marks. This is what happened last night after an Uber passenger tried to take over the car.
At about 11 p.m., Tempe PD gets a call. Someone hit by a car in the area of 52nd and University.
Once we got there and officers started investigating, they found out that an Uber driver had picked up a subject and was headed westbound on University.
The passenger got in the front seat, started talking, and seemed unstable.
The subject that was the passenger in the vehicle made statements that he wanted to harm himself.
He grabs the steering wheel and tries to crash the car, sending it off the road just before the Uber driver is able to take control.
At that time, the passenger, who again said he wanted to hurt himself, ran across the street into eastbound traffic and then was struck by a vehicle.
Tonight, that man is in the hospital with severe but non-life-threatening injuries.
It seemed that he was having some sort of mental episode possibly that was bothering him, and that was his way of dealing with it at the time.
Now he's facing charges of endangerment. The Uber driver and the man who hit the suspect were able to escape without injury.
Those situations are just dangerous to us because when someone's going through a mental health episode, it's hard to tell if they want help, if they're going to try to harm themselves soon, if something's going to happen right there in front of you.
Now, many of you may be wondering why the passenger was in the front seat of the car in the first place. While this is legal, it is entirely up to the driver on where their passenger sits. Reporting in Tempe, I'm Emily Blume.
Cronkite News reporter Emily Blume is in the studio to throw some shade on the situation.
Over the years, the parks along Tempe Town Lake have lost quite a few trees due to storms. So to replace some of those trees and to jumpstart a new goal to increase shade areas all around Tempe, a group of volunteers spent their Saturday morning digging up dirt.
Parks along Tempe Town Lake are due for some improvement. These Girl Scouts weren't exactly experts when they started. How much do they know?
Nothing so far.
But they caught on quickly.
There you go.
Tempe is working to cover a quarter of the city with shade, and today marks the first big step towards that goal. Haley Paris is happy to be a part of this event.
To help the community.
They are hoping to achieve that goal by 2040, and ASU will be studying just how effective their efforts are.
There will be a small benefit in terms of the cooling that's provided from the 100 trees we planted today, but I think creating a more inviting space is really our purpose out here.
ASU professor David Hondula studies heat in urban areas, how it affects our health, and what we can do to keep our temps from climbing even further. With different types of trees scattered throughout this park, he admits it's an experiment.
What arrangement and configuration of trees do people find most appealing, most inviting, and produce the greatest environmental benefits in terms of cooling?
This is a longer-term project.
It's going to take a long time for these little guys to grow into be big, beautiful trees.
So maybe by the time these girls are ASU bound themselves, they'll begin to see the fruits of their labor.